The stars went dark one by one, not because night fell on the galaxy, but because the Krethic Empire ate them. They didn't consume the suns themselves. No, they took the worlds around those suns. They took the people who lived there. They took the hope from every species that dared to stand against them. Captain Ryan Peterson stood on the bridge of his ship, the UES Defiance, Earth's newest and best kept secret. Outside the window, space was quiet. Too quiet. Behind him, his crew worked, at their stations without making a sound. Everyone knew what they had just witnessed on their screens. The Velkan Confederation was gone. 7 billion souls, 23 planets, wiped out in 3 days. The Krethic had done it again. Their 1,000-ship armada moved through space like death itself. They arrived. They destroyed. They left nothing behind. "Captain," said Lieutenant Katie Morgan from her navigation station. Her voice shook a little. "New orders from Earth Command." Ryan turned to face his red-haired officer. Katie had been part of his crew for 2 years. She'd never sounded scared before. Not when they'd flown through asteroid fields. Not when they'd run from pirates. But today, fear lived in her voice. "Share them with the crew, Lieutenant." Katie pressed a button. The ship's speakers crackled to life. "All Earth forces are to return home immediately. The Krethic have identified our sector. Earth is their next target." The bridge fell silent. Even the humming of machinery seemed to fade. Ryan watched his people. Commander Nathan Brooks, his second-in-command, clenched his jaw. Dr. Lisa Harper, their science officer, dropped her coffee mug. It shattered on the floor, but no one moved to clean it. "How much time?" Ryan asked. "Based on Krethic movement patterns." Katie checked her data. 2 weeks, maybe 3. Greg Williams at Tactical cursed under his breath. "That's not enough time. Earth has maybe 300 ships. They have 1,000. And they've never lost." Ryan thought about his home, his mother, his sister, the little house in Colorado where he'd grown up. Would it all be dust soon? Would Earth join the long list of dead worlds, Captain? Dr. Harper stepped forward. She was young for her position, but brilliant. "I've been studying the attack patterns. The Krethic always use the same formation, always attack the same way. It's like they follow a script." "What good does that do us?" Greg asked. "We know their patterns and we still can't stop them." "Maybe we can't stop them," Ryan said slowly. "But maybe we can understand them." The bridge crew looked at him. Outside the window, more stars seemed to dim. "Samantha," Ryan called to his chief engineer through the comm. "How's our cloaking system?" "Running at peak efficiency, Captain," Samantha Torres answered. "But you're not thinking what I think you're thinking." Ryan smiled without humor. "I'm thinking that if Earth has only weeks to live, we might as well use them wisely." "Sir," Nathan stepped closer. "Are you suggesting we follow the Krethic fleet? Get close to them?" "I'm suggesting that knowledge is our only weapon. We need to learn everything about them. Their ships, their technology, their weaknesses." "They don't have weaknesses," Greg muttered. "Everything has weaknesses," Dr. Harper said. "Even the strongest metal can crack. Even the biggest empire can fall." Ryan looked at each of his crew members. Katie still looked pale. Nathan seemed determined. Greg remained skeptical. Dr. Harper had that look she got when her mind started working on a problem. Samantha's voice came over the comm, ready for any challenge. These were his people. They'd signed up to protect Earth, to explore space, to be heroes if needed. Today, being a hero meant probable death. "I'm ordering all non-essential crew to return to Earth," Ryan said. "We'll use escape pods to send them back. This mission is strictly volunteer only." "With respect, Captain," Nathan said, "go to hell. We're all staying." "Agreed," Katie said. "Wouldn't miss it," Greg added. "This is what we're here for," Dr. Harper concluded. Samantha's voice came through the comm. "Captain, my engines are ready for whatever you need." Ryan felt something warm in his chest. Pride, gratitude, love for his crew. He straightened his shoulders. "Plot a course to intercept the Krethic fleet, full stealth, no mistakes." "Course plotted," Katie said. "Engage." The Defiance slipped into faster-than-light travel. They were heading toward the most dangerous beings in the galaxy, a small ship against an empire that had never failed. The rest of the galaxy would call them fools, say they were choosing death. But Ryan knew something about humans that the Krethic didn't. When faced with extinction, humans didn't give up. They didn't run. They didn't hide. They learned. They adapted. They found a way. Hours passed into days. The ship moved through hyperspace toward its destination. The crew worked tirelessly. Dr. Harper collected every bit of data she could find about the Krethic. Katie refined their navigation to ensure they wouldn't be detected. Nathan trained the crew for every possible outcome. Greg prepared their defensive systems. Samantha kept their cloaking technology running perfectly. Dropping out of hyperspace in 3, 2, 1, Katie announced. The stars returned to normal view. And then they saw it. The Krethic Armada. 1,000 ships moving in perfect formation. Each ship was the size of a city. Each ship had destroyed planets. They were beautiful in a terrible way. Dark metal hulls that seemed to drink in starlight. Energy signatures that showed power beyond anything humans had created. They moved with precision that spoke of thousands of years of experience. Cloaking at maximum, Samantha reported. They shouldn't see us. Shouldn't is the key word, Greg noted. Everyone stay calm, Ryan ordered. We're about to do something that no one has ever done before. We're going to watch the Krethic up close. We're going to learn their secrets. The Defiance glided closer, to the massive fleet. Every eye on the bridge was glued to the screens. Every heart beat fast. Every breath was measured. They were the smallest thing in the void, hiding from the biggest predators in space. They were Earth's last hope, though. Earth didn't know it yet. They were about to discover either salvation or doom. The hunt had begun. The Krethic fleet flew like synchronized dancers. Every ship moved with the same purpose, the same speed, the same direction. It was unlike anything humans had ever seen before. Years of military training taught commanders to keep distance between ships, to allow for mistakes, to plan for the unexpected. But not the Krethic. They flew so close together that their shields touched. They turned as one. They fired as one. It was both fascinating and terrifying. Dr. Harper, Ryan whispered on the bridge. What are you seeing? Lisa Harper bent over her scanning equipment. Her fingers moved fast across the controls. Their ships are talking to each other, Captain. Not with radio signals. Something else. Something I've never seen before. Can we understand it? Nathan asked. It's not like any language I know. It's more like... Dr. Harper paused. Like one brain controlling many bodies. The crew absorbed this information. A hive mind. They'd heard stories about alien species that shared thoughts, but they'd never seen it in action. Captain, Katie reported from navigation. They're slowing. Down. Getting into attack formation. Attack formation? Ryan asked. There's nothing here to attack. Maybe they're practicing, Greg suggested. Or testing, Dr. Harper said. Scanning now. There's a dead moon nearby. Small, no atmosphere, no life. They watched as the Krethic ships positioned themselves. Every ship moved to a specific point. No commands seemed to pass between them. No signals. They just knew where to go. This is it, Dr. Harper said excitedly. This is what they do before attacking. Look at the formation. Outer ships create defensive shields. Middle ships charge weapons. Inner ships... She trailed off, studying the data. Inner ships what? Ryan pressed. They're scanning. Looking for something specific. I think they're mapping the target's defenses. The crew watched as the Krethic began their attack on the defenseless moon. Energy beams shot out from hundreds of ships, but not randomly. Every beam hit a specific spot. When one ship fired, another immediately fired at a different location. There was no wasted energy, no repeated strikes. The moon died in minutes, ground to dust, turned to space debris. My God, Katie breathed. They're so efficient. Recording everything, Dr. Harper said. Temperature readings, energy signatures, ship positions, timing sequences. This is incredible data. Incredible data about how they'll kill Earth, Greg reminded them. Days passed. The Defiance followed the Krethic at a safe distance. They watched. Attack after attack. Empty space targets, old abandoned stations, asteroid fields. The Krethic practiced on everything. They're preparing, Ryan realized, getting their formation perfect before hitting Earth. Dr. Harper, Samantha Torres called from engineering. I've been running power consumption tests. Our cloak is using more energy than expected. At this rate, we'll need to drop out in 5 days to recharge. Can't you fix it? Nathan asked. Not without spare parts we don't have. Ryan made a decision. Find us a hiding spot, somewhere in this system where we can drop cloak safely. 2 hours later, Katie found an option. There's a gas giant with 12 moons. One has so much iron it masks sensor readings. We could hide there for a few hours. They moved carefully, still cloaked, still silent. The Defiance slipped away from the Krethic fleet and headed for the Iron Moon. When they arrived, Ryan gave the order to drop their cloak. Immediately, alarm sounded. Contacts, Greg shouted. 2 Krethic ships. They're heading straight for us. Impossible, Samantha said. The iron should hide us. Apparently it doesn't, Ryan snapped. Katie, full speed, get us out of here. The Defiance shot away from the moon. Its engines blazed hot. Behind them, 2 massive Krethic warships gained speed. They're faster than our estimates, Katie reported. Weapons ready? Ryan asked. Yes, but sir, Greg hesitated. We've seen what they can do. 2 of their ships can destroy us easy. We're not going down without a fight. Target their engines. The Defiance turned hard, its weapons fired. Human plasma cannons struck the lead Krethic ship. For a moment, the crew held their breath. Then they cheered as the enemy ship's shields flared. We hurt them, Nathan called out. Don't celebrate yet, Ryan warned. The Krethic ships returned fire. Their weapon was like nothing Earth had seen. It wasn't plasma, it wasn't lasers. It looked like condensed energy that twisted space itself. The Defiance dodged, just barely. The energy blast tore through space where they'd been seconds before. Shields down to 70%, Samantha reported. Their weapon is stronger than ours, Dr. Harper analyzed quickly. But they're not using their hive mind. They're acting independently. What
does that mean?
Ryan asked while dodging another blast. They left the main fleet. Maybe they can't connect without others nearby. Ryan had an idea. A crazy idea. Katie, plot a course through the gas giant's rings. Those ice chunks will interfere with sensors. Sir, that's extremely dangerous. More dangerous than those ships behind us? Katie nodded and made the course correction. The Defiance dove into the ring system. Ice chunks the size of houses flew past at incredible speeds. The ship twisted and turned, using small thrusters to avoid collision. The Krethic ships followed. But something changed. In the open space, they flew perfectly. In the ring system, they seemed confused. They avoided collisions, but barely. Their usually smooth movements became jerky. They're having trouble, Nathan observed. Because they're alone, Dr. Harper realized. Away from the hive. They're not used to independent thinking. Can we use this? Ryan asked. Maybe. Their individual ship AI isn't as good as their hive mind. The cat and mouse game continued through the rings. The Defiance, being smaller, could turn faster. The Krethic ships had more power but less maneuverability. An idea formed in Ryan's mind. Greg, prepare our mining lasers. Samantha, divert all power to front shields. Mining lasers, sir? Those are for cutting rocks. Exactly. Katie, head for that large ice asteroid ahead. Use it as cover. The Defiance flew behind the massive ice chunk. The 2 Krethic ships followed. As they came around the asteroid, Ryan gave the order. Fire mining lasers at the asteroid full power. The powerful cutting beams hit the ice. The asteroid exploded into millions of smaller pieces. A cloud of ice chunks expanded outward like shrapnel. The first Krethic ship flew straight into the K cloud. Small impacts peppered its hull. Nothing threatening, until larger chunks hit. One the size of a car slammed into the ship's weapon ports. Another damaged their engine section. The second ship tried to dodge but was too close. Ice pieces struck its shields repeatedly. The shields flickered. Failed. "They're damaged," Nathan reported. "Both ships are slowing down." "Press our advantage," Ryan ordered. "Target their engines while they're vulnerable." The Defiance opened fire with its main weapons. Plasma blasts hit the damaged Krethic ships. One ship spun out of control, blue energy leaking from its damaged engine. The other tried to return fire, but its weapons were misaligned. "They're retreating," Katie announced with surprise. The two Krethic ships turned away, flying slower than before. They were heading back to their main fleet for repairs. "Or to report what happened." "Damage report," Ryan asked. "Shields at 40%. Minor hull damage." "Nothing we can't fix," Samantha reported. The bridge was quiet for a moment. Then cheering erupted. They'd done the impossible. They'd fought Krethic ships and survived. Not just survived, they'd won. "Dr. Harper," Ryan said after the celebration died down, "what did we learn?" "Their hive mind is their strength and their weakness. Together they're unstoppable. Separated they're vulnerable. They rely on it too much." Ryan nodded. This was valuable information. Perhaps the key to Earth survival. "Set course back to Earth," he ordered. "We need to report what we've learned and prepare for war." Earth's orbital defense platform buzzed with activity. Ships moved in and out of formation. Crews worked tirelessly to repair damage and load weapons. In the middle of it all, the Defiance docked at Station Alpha. Admiral James Murphy met them at the airlock. His face was tight with worry. Gray hair showed stress from endless war planning meetings. "Captain Peterson, you're late." "We had to avoid detection, sir," Ryan replied. "Did you get what we needed?" "More than we hoped for. And something better." Murphy raised an eyebrow. They walked quickly to the command center. Ryan's crew shared their data with Earth scientists and military leaders. Video clips, sensor readings, combat data from their skirmish. "They really rely on their hive mind that much?" Murphy asked. "Sir, when they work together, they're perfect. When they're alone, they make mistakes. Big mistakes," Nathan explained. Dr. Lisa Harper added, "Their individual ship AI can function, but it's basic. Clumsy. They're designed to be part of a network." "So how do we use this?" asked Admiral Murphy. Paul Chen stepped forward. He was Earth's top quantum weapons specialist. Young, brilliant. Ideas that others thought were impossible, he made real. "Perhaps we can disrupt their network," Paul suggested. "Create interference." "Like jamming radio signals?" asked Nathan. "No, their system isn't radio, it's something quantum, probably using quantum entanglement to connect ships instantly across space." Dr. Harper nodded eagerly. "I noticed unusual quantum signatures when they maneuver. If we could amplify those signals, we might overload their system," Paul finished. "Create static in their hive mind." Admiral Murphy looked between the scientists. "Can you build such a weapon?" "We'd need a quantum field generator. Our most powerful one is on Earth." "The Hadron facility," Paul said. "Get it. Get everyone. We have 8 days before the Krethic arrive." Days blurred together. While scientists worked frantically, Ryan trained with other ship captains. They practiced new formations based on what the Defiance learned. Spread ships far apart. Use asteroids as shields. Create obstacles the hive mind couldn't adapt to quickly. Alex Rivera, captain of the UES Vanguard, proved to be a natural leader. He understood Ryan's tactics immediately. "We're teaching dogs new tricks," Alex joked one day after practice. "Old military doctrine won't work here." "Old doctrine never dealt with hive minds," Ryan agreed. Each night, Ryan visited Katie Morgan in the medical bay. She'd collapsed from exhaustion after they docked. Working nonstop during their mission had taken its toll. "The Krethic are coming tomorrow," Ryan told her on day 7. "I'll be ready," she whispered. Dark circles under her eyes. Pale skin, but determined. "You need rest. I need to do my job." That night, Ryan couldn't sleep. He walked the ship's corridors. In engineering, Samantha Torres was making final adjustments to their quantum system. Greg Williams cleaned weapons that were already spotless. Dr. Harper reviewed her notes again and again. Everyone dealt with fear differently. "Sir," Samantha called out, "the quantum generator is ready. It's bigger than I expected." The device filled half the engineering bay. Wires connected to the ship's main power core. Crystals that Paul called quantum resonators glowed faintly blue. "Will it work?" Ryan asked. "According to math? Yes. In reality?" Samantha shrugged. "This is all theory. How long can we run it?" 3 minutes, maybe 4. Then our power core might overload. 3 minutes to save Earth, no pressure. Dawn came too quickly. Red lights flashed through Earth's defense grid. Alarms sounded across every ship. "They're here," breathed Katie from her station. She'd rejoined the crew against Doctor's orders. The Krethic fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. 1,000 ships appeared as one. They moved toward Earth with terrible purpose. "All teams, this is Admiral Murphy. Remember your training. Remember what Peterson's crew learned. Don't let the hive mind intimidate you." Earth's fleet moved to intercept. 300 ships against 1,000. Humans spread their forces wide, created choke points using Jupiter's moons, set traps in asteroid fields. The Defiance took point. Position. The quantum generator hummed behind them, charging to full power. "Their forward elements are in range," Greg reported. "Wait for my signal," Ryan ordered. "We need them closer." Krethic ships opened fire first. Earth's outer defenses exploded. The UES Jakarta tried to dodge but took a direct hit. The ship split in half. "Hold positions," Murphy commanded. "Spring the first trap." Earth ships hiding in the asteroid belt fired guided missiles. Hundreds of warheads streaked through space. The Krethic fleet, moving in their tight formation, couldn't avoid them all. Explosions lit up the battlefield. "They're adapting," Dr. Harper warned. "Changing formation." "Working as planned," Ryan muttered. "Samantha, charge the quantum disruptor to 70%. Charge to 70%, sir." The Krethic advance continued. They were learning, improving. Their hive mind processed every attack and found solutions. Captain Victoria Hayes led Earth's fighter squadron around Mars. They struck at the enemy fleet's flanks. The Krethic adapted again, detaching ships to deal with the fighters. "They're breaking formation," Nathan reported, excited. "Just a bit," Dr. Harper corrected. "Still mostly connected. We need them to separate more." Ryan opened a channel to all Earth ships. "All vessels, execute plan scatter. Make them chase you, spread them out." Ships peeled away in different directions. The Krethic, programmed to eliminate threats, sent pursuit units. Their perfect formation began cracking. "Now!" Ryan shouted. "Full power to the quantum disruptor." The Defiance unleashed a wave of quantum interference. The effect was invisible but immediate. Hundreds of Krethic ships stopped coordinating. Some crashed into each other. Others fired at empty space. "It's working," Katie called out. "Power level's critical," Samantha warned. "We're drawing too much energy." 20 seconds more," Paul shouted. "Boost the signal." The quantum generator screamed. Warning lights flashed red. The ship shook. Then disaster struck. A Krethic ship, isolated from the hive, fired its main weapon directly at the Defiance. "Brace for impact," Ryan yelled. The blast hit their starboard side. The force threw everyone across the bridge. Systems failed. Lights flickered. The quantum disruptor died. "Damage report. Hull breach on deck 7. Shields offline. We're venting. Atmosphere," Greg reported. Through the smoke and sparks, Ryan saw Katie slumped over her console. Blood trickled from a head wound. Nathan had a broken arm. Dr. Harper crawled to tend the injured. But outside, the battle raged on. The Krethic hive mind was reconnecting. Order returned to their ranks. "We bought them time," Ryan said, watching Earth's forces regroup. "Now they have to use it." Admiral Murphy's voice crackled over damaged speakers. "All ships, regroup at Mars orbit. The Krethic are recovering." The Defiance limped away from the main battle. Behind them, the Krethic fleet reformed. Earth's attack had hurt them. Ships floated dead in space. Others leaked atmosphere, but they were still coming. Still a threat. Still enough to destroy Earth. "Captain," Samantha reported. "The quantum generator, it's fried. We can't restart it." Ryan slumped in his chair. They'd given everything. Used their secret weapon. And it wasn't enough. "Sir," Katie said weakly, "we learned something else." "What's that, Lieutenant?" "When we disconnected them, they were afraid, confused. For the first time, the mighty Krethic knew fear." Ryan smiled, grimly. Fear was something humans understood well. Perhaps the battle wasn't over yet. Perhaps there was still hope. The Defiance shook as another explosion struck its damaged hull. In the medical bay, Dr. Harper worked frantically to save wounded crew members. Nathan tried to help with his broken arm, binding wounds with his good hand. "Captain," Samantha's voice crackled through the intercom. "Power core is unstable. We need to dock somewhere safe." Ryan looked at the tactical display. The Krethic fleet reformed in the distance. Earth's forces were scattered, regrouping behind Mars. They'd bought perhaps an hour of breathing room. Katie, plot course for the nearest repair station. "Already?" "Done," Katie said through gritted teeth, a bandage wrapped around her head. "Station Gamma, 20 minutes at full speed." "We don't have full speed," Greg reminded everyone. "Then find us whatever speed we can manage." The Defiance crawled through space. Behind them, the battle continued. Explosions lit up the darkness. Human ships darted between asteroids, using guerrilla tactics. But the Krethic were reorganizing. Their hive mind was repairing itself, learning from the quantum disruption. They reached Station Gamma as systems began failing. Emergency lights bathed the corridors in red. Warning klaxons wailed. "All hands prepare for docking," Ryan ordered. The station's repair crews swarmed over the damaged ship. Ryan watched from the airlock as welders started sealing the hull breach. The station doctor led Katie away for proper treatment. "Captain Peterson." Ryan turned to see a young woman in Earth Force uniform. Her name tag read Jordan Mitchell. "I'm your replacement tactical officer, sir. Lieutenant Jordan Mitchell." "Replacement?" Ryan frowned. "Admiral Murphy's orders. Greg Williams has a concussion. Doctor says he's grounded for at least 3 days." Ryan nodded tiredly. Another crew change. More losses mounting. "Captain," Dr. Harper called from her temporary medical station. "We need to talk." They found a quiet corner. Dr. Harper held a data pad filled with quantum equations. "I've been analyzing the battle data. The quantum disruptor worked better than we expected. It didn't just disconnect the hive mind, it created feedback in their network." "Meaning?" "Meaning some ships experienced system overloads. Small ones. But if we could amplify the effect. Our generator is destroyed. So is Earth's main facility." "I know." Dr. Harper smiled weakly. "But what if every ship had a small disruptor? Not powerful enough to disconnect the hive mind completely, but enough to create interference when they coordinate their attacks." Ryan's mind raced. "Like signal jammers. Multiple weak sources instead of one strong one." "Exactly. And look at this." Dr. Harper showed him more data. When Krethic ships are disrupted, they default to basic combat AI. That AI has predictable patterns. How predictable? Very. They always target the closest threat, always use specific weapon combinations, always follow escape routes calculated for maximum efficiency. Ryan grabbed Jordan Mitchell. "Lieutenant, can you work with Dr. Harper? Compile those patterns into a tactical database?" "Yes, sir." On it immediately. Minutes stretched into hours. The Defiance remained docked while urgent modifications began. Every Earth ship in the fleet received orders to install emergency quantum interference equipment. Not weapons, just signal disturbers. Small, simple, effective. "Captain," Samantha called through the comm. "Engine repairs complete. Shields restored to 60%. We're space-worthy again." Ryan gathered his crew. Katie returned with a clean bandage and steady eyes. Greg insisted on coming despite orders to rest. Nathan's arm was properly set in a cast. "Status update from Admiral Murphy," Nathan read from a message. "Krethic main fleet advancing. Earth's outer defenses are collapsing. We need to slow them down. How long until they reach Earth? Ryan asked. 12 hours. Maybe less. The crew looked to their captain. Outside the station windows, damaged ships limped past. Earth's fleet was battered but not broken. All right, people, Ryan said firmly. We started this fight. We're going to finish it. Samantha, I need the ship ready for combat in 1 hour. Jordan, coordinate our new tactical patterns with the fleet. Dr. Harper, finalize the interference specifications. Katie, plot intercept courses for the entire fleet. We're going back out there. 1 hour later, the Defiance launched from Station Gamma. This time, they weren't alone. 30 ships formed up around them. Each ship now carried small quantum interference units, not enough to disable the hive mind, but enough to disrupt it. The fleet approached the advancing Krethic force. Admiral Murphy's voice came through all speakers. This is our last stand, ladies and gentlemen. We've taken casualties, lost good ships. But we've also learned something about our enemy. They're not invincible. They can be hurt. They can be beaten. Today we prove it. Remember the formation, Alex Rivera added from the vanguard. Spread out. Force them to divide their attention. Use the interference to our advantage. The Krethic armada approached like a dark cloud. 700 ships remained after their losses. Still more than double Earth's fleet. All ships, Ryan commanded. Activate interference fields. Low power. Just enough to create static. Across the fleet, quantum fields flickered to life. Weak pulses designed not to sever the hive connection, but to slow it down. Battle formation Delta, ordered Admiral Murphy. Make them work for every meter. Earth's ships scattered across 1,000,000 kilometers of space. Some hid behind asteroid clusters. Others used the gravity of Mars to slingshot around the planet. The formation looked chaotic to human eyes. To the Krethic, it was a nightmare. They're confused, Jordan reported excitedly. Their coordination is stuttering. They can't predict our movements. The Krethic tried to form their standard attack pattern, but the interference made their hive mind sluggish. Ships moved half a second too slow. Weapons fired at where targets used to be, not where they were. Engage, Admiral Murphy commanded. Earth's fleet opened fire. Plasma cannons spoke. Missiles launched. Every ship targeted the nearest Krethic vessel. The enemy. Ships responded. But their counterattack lacked precision. Without perfect coordination, they struggled to match their target's movements. Captain, Jordan called out. The Krethic are breaking into smaller groups, maybe 30 ships per group. They're trying to minimize interference effects. Perfect, Ryan smiled. Exactly what Dr. Harper predicted. All ships execute plan divide and conquer. The battle transformed. No longer a grand fleet action, but dozens of smaller engagements. Groups of 5 to 10 human ships would surround a Krethic formation. Using their new tactical database, they predicted enemy movement patterns. The Defiance led one such group. Joining them were the UES Ranger, the Titan, and 2 destroyers. Target the lead ship, Ryan ordered. Jordan, predict their evasive maneuvers. They'll dive left, then swing toward the Ranger, Jordan calculated. Engines fire in sequence. Main. Port, starboard, main again. Katie, adjust our course to intercept. Greg, prepare sequential fire pattern. The trap snapped shut perfectly. As Jordan predicted, the Krethic ship moved exactly as expected. Earth's weapons were ready. The enemy's shields flared and failed. Atmosphere vented into space. One down, Nathan reported. Across the battlefield, similar scenes played out. Human ships, working together, outmaneuvered confused Krethic elements. The enemy's numbers advantage meant little when they couldn't coordinate effectively. Captain, Samantha reported, power levels holding steady. Interference field running at optimal. Casualties mounting on both sides, Greg added grimly. But we're winning the exchange rate. The battle raged for hours. Ships exploded. Debris fields grew. Lives were lost on both sides. But slowly, surely, the Krethic advance stopped. Then something unexpected happened. Look at this, Dr. Harper pointed to her screen. The Krethic. They're trying to learn, analyzing our tactics. Even without full hive connection, they're adapting. How is that possible? They're sharing data, not thoughts, just combat information. Using basic communication channels, they're learning to fight like individuals. Ryan realized the implications. If the Krethik could adapt to fighting without their hive mind, they would eventually overcome this weakness. Admiral Murphy, Ryan broadcast urgently. Permission to try something crazy? Captain, at this point, crazy is all we have left. Ryan outlined his plan quickly. Not all the ships needed to run interference. If they could concentrate the effect, the Defiance will lead a strike team directly to their command ship. We'll overload our interference field, create a localized quantum burst. That could destroy your ship, Captain. Better us than Earth, sir. Murphy paused. Then, Godspeed, Captain Peterson. The fleet will cover your approach. Ryan turned to his crew. They'd heard everything. No one has to come with me on this one. We might not come back. Katie stood first. Captain's watch is my watch. One by one, the rest of the crew stood. Nathan with his broken arm, Greg still dizzy from concussion, Dr. Harper, Samantha, Jordan Mitchell, who barely knew them. All right, Ryan said thickly. Katie, plot course for their command ship. Samantha, prepare for quantum overload. Everyone else, hold on tight. The Krethik command ship loomed ahead like a dark mountain in space. Twice the size of any other ship in their fleet, it pulsed with power. Energy flows connected it to every other Krethik vessel visible through the viewports. That's the source, Dr. Harper confirmed. The hub. If we can disrupt that ship's network center, the entire hive mind might collapse. All ships, Admiral Murphy ordered. Clear a path for the Defiance. I want nothing between them and that command ship. The fleet responded immediately. Earth's ships dove in from all directions. Plasma fire lit up space. Human pilots pushed their engines beyond safety limits. Every remaining vessel threw themselves at the Krethik perimeter guard. They're creating a corridor, Nathan noted. Just like Murphy promised. Power levels? Ryan asked Samantha. Core temperature rising. We're pushing way past recommended limits. I can give you 3 minutes at maximum overload before catastrophic failure. That's all we need. Katie, full speed ahead. The Defiance screamed through space. Behind them, the UES Vanguard and 2 destroyers followed. Alex Rivera's voice came, over the comm. We've got your back, Peterson. Get to that command ship. Rodriguez here from Earth Defense Command, added General Maria Rodriguez. All guns are trained on your target. When you hit that ship, we'll pour everything we have at it. The command ship's weapons turned toward them. Energy built up in its massive forward guns. The Defiance was minutes away from being vaporized. Evasive maneuvers, Ryan ordered. Katie sent the ship into a corkscrew pattern. The Krethik's first shot missed by meters. Its second shot struck their rear shields. Shields down to 30%, Greg called out. Power to the quantum disruptor. Dr. Harper shouted. The reactor whined as power flowed to their modified system. Through the ship's vibrations, they could feel the massive energy buildup. Target in range, Jordan reported. Firing solution locked. Fire all weapons, Ryan commanded. Follow it with the quantum burst. The Defiance unleashed everything. Plasma, missiles, conventional lasers. Every weapon struck the command ship's shields. The giant vessel returned fire again. This time the blast tore through their portside hull. Alarm screamed. The ship listed to one side. Quantum overload in 3, 2, 1. Mark. Dr. Harper triggered the modified disruptor. A wave of quantum energy exploded outward from the Defiance. The invisible pulse struck the command ship like a tsunami of interference. Every screen on the ship showed the same thing. The Krethik hive network flickering, struggling, breaking apart. It's working, Katie cheered. But victory celebrations cut short when the Defiance's engines died. Emergency power kicked in, half the lights went dark. Core breach imminent, Samantha warned. We've got minutes before the reactor goes critical. The quantum pulse is still spreading, Dr. Harper reported in wonder. It's using their own network like a carrier wave, overloading ships across their entire fleet. Through the viewports, they watched as Krethik ships began to drift. Some fired randomly, others collided with each other. The perfect coordination that made them unstoppable was gone. Captain, General Rodriguez's voice came through static. That pulse hit every enemy ship in the system. The hive mind is collapsing. We're detecting errors in their entire network structure. Ryan looked at his crew. They were bruised, bloodied, but alive. The ship was dying, but they'd succeeded. "All hands, prepare for evacuation," he ordered. "We need to abandon ship before the reactor blows." The crew moved quickly despite injuries. Emergency lights bathed everything in red. They made it to the escape pods just as power failed completely. "Launch pods," Ryan commanded. Small pods shot away from the Defiance. Captain Ryan Peterson was the last to leave. He stood on the bridge, watching Earth's fleet destroy the confused Krethik ships. "Captain," Katie's voice crackled through the emergency comm. "You need to evacuate now." Ryan took one last look around the bridge. This ship had saved Earth. Its crew had faced impossible odds and won. With a deep breath, he ran for the final escape pod. He launched just as the Defiance's reactor went critical. The explosion lit up space like a new star. The shockwave pushed his pod faster toward the rescue ships. "We're detecting a full cascade failure across the Krethik fleet," reported Admiral Murphy. "Their command structure is gone. Ships are firing on each other. Some are trying to retreat." "Sir," added Rodriguez, "our deep space sensors show the effects spreading outside our system. The quantum pulse is traveling through their network across star systems. The entire Krethik Empire appears to be destabilizing." In the weeks that followed, reports came in from across the galaxy. The mighty Krethik Empire, which had conquered for millennia, was falling apart. Without their hive mind, their ships couldn't coordinate. Their planets lost central control. Species that had been enslaved for generations broke free. The Velkan survivors sent messages of gratitude to Earth. The Zorthian Republic offered an alliance. Even races humanity hadn't met reached out, wanting to understand how such a small planet had toppled a galactic empire. Ryan recovered in Earth's military hospital. His crew visited daily. Katie Morgan still wearing a bandage but smiling. Dr. Harper talking excitedly about the scientific discoveries they'd made. Nathan with his arm healed. Greg telling jokes to lighten the mood. Samantha itching to get back to her engines. Jordan Mitchell officially requesting transfer to the Defiance crew for whatever came next. "The President wants to give you all medals," Admiral Murphy told them during a visit. "Nobel Prize Committee is considering something for Dr. Harper. Earth wants heroes." "We were just doing our jobs," Ryan replied. "Your job was to scout the enemy. You ended up saving not just Earth, but every free species in the galaxy." 6 months. After the battle, a memorial was built in Earth orbit. It honored all those lost in the war. The Defiance itself was recovered and preserved as a museum ship. Children would grow up learning about the crew that stopped the unstoppable. Ryan often visited the memorial. He would stand before the names of those who didn't make it home. Captain Victoria Hayes, Lieutenant Commander William Brooks. So many brave souls. "Crazy to think it all started with a reconnaissance mission," Katie said one evening, joining him at the memorial overlook. "We got lucky," Ryan admitted. "No, sir, we got smart. We learned. We adapted." The Krethik were stronger, more advanced, more numerous. But we understood something they didn't. "What's that?" "That weakness isn't in being individuals. It's in not knowing how to be individuals when you need to." Ryan nodded thoughtfully. The stars above them looked different now. Not threatening, not hiding monsters. They were paths to new friends, new adventures. "So," Katie asked, "ready for the next mission? I hear they're naming the new deep space exploration ship after you. USS Peterson, USS Defiance 2. They said you get to pick the crew." Ryan smiled. "I already know exactly who I want." Above them, Earth's defense platforms stood ready, but they were no longer the last defense. Now they were the first line of a new alliance. Humanity had stopped being prey and become protectors. The small species that faced annihilation had become the hope for a better galaxy. And in the quiet moments when Ryan looked out at the stars, he remembered that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is face the darkness and find the light on the other side, even if it costs everything.